Hey everyone, it's Mare at the Benniebarrefitness Pilates studio, and today is the last week of our March Matness, where we are celebrating the original Mat Pilates exercises, days 26 through 31 in this video. Beginning here with a side bend. This is one of our exercises where we're going into that side plank position. We're lifting the hips as we lift up and over, bending, and then dipping the hips down in the opposite direction. If you're wanting to follow through these exercises, perhaps you want to take next month to go through one exercise that you focus on every single day, you can check out my March Matness videos from last year where I went through and did a video every single day for each individual exercise. Of course, there are more than 31 Mat Pilates exercises. These are just exercises chosen from the original sequence that was created by Joseph Pilates. There are many exercises like the abdominal series of 5 that aren't included in this March Madness celebration list. The next exercise that we're doing is the Boomerang right here. This is a really complex exercise that involves a lot of coordination, and we're tying together a lot of elements from various exercises that we've done so far in the series leading up to this. So it makes sense that you'd want to go through and be comfortable with the exercises preceding this one so that you can complete the Boomerang. You can see right here we've got some balance and core work, and then going into elements of the rollover, lifting up into a teaser, and then opening up through the chest like we do through the double leg kick. And there's even some elements of the spine stretch forward happening here. We just coordinate and tie in so many exercises, and it requires a lot of balance, coordination, and strength. I love the Boomerang for all of those reasons. If you would like to master this exercise, you should check out my how-to video for the Boomerang right here in the upper right-hand corner, where we'll go through all the elements of this exercise in more detail than I am right here, and I'll teach you how to do it and how to break it down into steps so that you can practice this exercise at all levels. Following the Boomerang, we're going to be moving into 2 of our rolling exercises, the seal and then into the crab. So we're beginning here with the seal. You'll notice a lot of similarities between the seal and rolling like a ball. Main differences here are that the knees are wide and turned out, hips are turned out, and the arm location twisting up and underneath the feet. And of course, you can see those 1, 2, 3 slaps, roll back 1, 2, 3, and roll up 1, 2, 3. We're C-curving through the spine, rolling back to our shoulder blades, and returning, balancing there on the sits bones. So finding that balance of using the abdominal muscles to put the brakes on and stop and balance at the top in rolling like a ball is really going to help in that exercise. Moving next into the crab, and I'm going into a variation of the crab that I prefer. Normally you can see this exercise where you roll forward onto the head and you're placing some support onto the neck. This one is just my preference. I love the rolling back and straightening the legs as you switch, and then lifting up and stretching through the hips right here. So you'll see the crab performed differently. This is just a variation that I prefer, that I practice, and I teach most often. So it involves that similar rolling, a different position that we're holding the feet here, and then we switch the feet one over top of the other as we roll back onto the shoulder blades. So while you balance on the shoulder blades, you switch the feet. You can see this exercise performed with maintaining a bend in the feet, and they open and switch and return back up. I personally love where we straighten out the legs. We're moving next into the rocking. So we're going to come onto the stomach in a prone position and reach back and grab for the backs of the feet or the ankles right here. And then we're lifting up in this exercise. It's kind of like a back bend in a different position while you're rocking. So it's a pretty appropriately named exercise. Moving next into the next exercise, which is the control balance. We're going to come onto the back. We're going to roll the feet over, weight through the shoulder blades, toes coming down to the mat, and we take both of our arms up to frame the face. We're going to hold onto one ankle while we press the other foot away. As you can tell, this exercise requires a lot of control and a lot of balance. Again, very well named right here. It also requires flexibility through the spine and the ability to go into an inverted exercise. And finally, moving into day 31 of March, that's celebrating the last exercise in our series, and that is the push-up. So as you might imagine, push-ups in Pilates are a little bit more complex than just holding a position and doing several push-ups. There's a lot more coordination involving reaching up tall towards the ceiling, tucking the chin to chest, rolling down through the spine, placing the hands to the mat, and walking out with control and stability into that plank position. Push up with the elbows tight and close to the body, lifting the hips into a pike position, and then walking back. There's a lot of stretching going on in this exercise of the backs of the legs. So if you're really tight through the hamstrings, you might find it quite impossible to get the hands flat down onto the mat and be able to walk out evenly with balance here. But we get a long stretch as we're going through the walking part of this exercise on the hands. We're trying to control the core and using all of that core strength to keep the hips stable and steady. And of course, it requires that arm and upper body strength and just total body coordination to actually execute the push-ups. Unlike your standard push-ups that really target the chest, the arms, the shoulders, and perhaps back muscles, you can see here that there's a lot of core integration, stability, stretching through the legs. There's just a lot rolled into these Pilates push-ups. You can do one leg Pilates push-ups and several different variations. You can step out and do several push-ups here rather than just the single push-up. There's a lot of ways to mix these up, but I love the full body flow of Joseph Pilates push-ups. Thank you so much for joining me in the studio today and this month as we've been celebrating March Madness. Check out my channel for more mat Pilates, barre, springboard Pilates, and more. And if you're interested in joining me online for mat Pilates, you can join me on Patreon where I will offer you more tutorials teaching you the classical mat Pilates exercises. You could also join me there for barre and springboard Pilates where I do weekly classes. Wondering what to watch next? I've got you covered. Here are some other videos that you might like. I'll see you guys next time in the studio.